Finally, welcome you all to the hoodie season. Taking photos with a good light, under the sun, on a sunny day is always a pleasure. But since autumn has started, winter will come and in spring it always rains. It means we have 8 months ahead where the weather is often be bad. So in today's video I want to share with you some tips that I use in order to get nice photos even in this bad light situation. I love the rain. It relaxes me and puts me in a good mood. It reminds me of when I was in elementary school watching the sun turn black through the big windows of my classroom, completely losing myself in it. My teachers weren't happy. Let's say I've always been easily distracted. But I love the rain when I'm home, when I'm not actually getting wet. And that's because I hate wearing umbrella and walk with something in my hand all day. Even if I'm not shooting, I just hate stand like this all day, all the time. It's stupid. Anyway, I've decided to make this video to give you some tips and to share my actual creative process during rain or during bad light situation, during those days completely covered in clouds. Then, of course, some people might prefer this type of light, which is very soft, even if call it soft is a compliment because it's just bad to me. Or on the other hand, some people might, like me, like more shooting in a summer days when the sun is pretty high in the sky and it allows you to create a more contrasty look in your images. So the very first tip I want to share with you to get nice photo even in these situations is to embrace failure, because what better occasion to allow yourself the luxury of losing some shots than when you probably wouldn't have photographed anyway. We often tend to seek the results rather than the experience when shooting. This is very understandable, especially for those people who make a living of photography. But if in situations like this where you probably won't even go out for shooting, you take the opportunity to experiment and have fun with your gear, with your editing, your settings. I personally think that this situation when it's cloudy and it's moody and it's all gray, it's a great opportunity for you to get rid of that mentality where you have to absolutely take the shot at any cost. Because in this situation, in those days, you can really go out and be as creative as you like. Maybe even trying lenses that you don't usually use. For example, if you often shoot with a 50mm, maybe you can go out and try with a 35, with a 24, with a 15, and all this sort of stuff. And try to approach photography in a completely new way instead of rely on what you can actually do already. Trying just to stepping out of your comfort zone and not doing the same things over and over and over again. This next tip, it clearly applies more on these rainy and cloudy days, but I think it's fundamental in street photography in general, whether it's sunny or bright or cloudy or whatever you want. And I think it's fundamental in every genre of photography, because you need to try to be as creative as you possibly can be and even more, and somehow trying to step out from the crowd with your photography. Even if it's not the topic of this video, trying to do something different from the others because you're putting all of your creativity in it. It's fundamental and it's crucial in street photography, in portrait photography, and in basically every other genre and type of art or kind of art you want and you can think of. So by experimenting and be creative, inspiration can come from literally anything. It can be a pigeon, a puddle, a reflection, a mirror you saw on the street. Anything you can possibly find on the street is there for you to be used in your photography. I know this can sound very obvious because we should probably know that we should use our environments to get the photos. What I'm actually trying to say is not the puddle itself that you have to use, but I'm trying to tell you that you have to squeeze your creativity in order to take photos, take good shots in every sort of situation you're in. You can also try capturing more details photos with a longer focal length, like the 50, the 55, the 60, the 85, and all that sort of stuff in between, trying something that makes the shot without even the need for people in your frame. During these days, I'm practically only using the 55 or the 85 for my street photography to capture gesture or a particular look on the street or something that can draw my attention. And this is because including too many people and too many things into a scene, into a composition, it's already difficult itself. If you also don't have good light to help you, I think there's the risk of getting boring images. This for me is one of the best shortcuts and personally the one I use the most, both in this situation with bad lights and when the light is very strong. I always like to try to make the most out of the city geometry. Buildings, windows, the metro, or any geometric pattern you see around. They can also be a pedestrian crossing or a series of signs. You know, all these things together can help you a lot to compose the shot and consequently make it a bit more interesting, a bit more appealing, even if the light is bad. Here, I think that the hardest part of doing this is to find a right subject for your scene, for your geometric scene. I always try to use silhouette in order to make this process easier, but it's not always possible. But I'm sure that with a bit of patience and an umbrella if it rains, you can get great results. Now let's get to the last point for today's video, which is probably a bit more controversial. So please let me know in the comments what you think about this point in particular, about the previous one, or if you have any other tips for me and for everyone else. In my opinion, what can really help you in this light situation is the post-production. Knowing how to edit a shot so that it actually brings out something even in contexts where the light isn't on our side, it's crucial. And this is because whether in black and white or in color, editing is one of that thing that can literally save a photo. Let me explain. If a photo is to be trashed, it should be trashed regardless of post-production, and it won't be Lightroom or Capture One that saves it in an absolute sense. However, in post-production you can try to play and have fun with editing to maybe try to give a mood to that shot. For example, if you took a photo in the rain, you might want to desaturate the colors a bit. Make the white balance a bit cooler, trying to convey to the viewer, to the ones who actually staring at your photo, what you actually felt, to make them feel the weather you were in. Or on the other hand, since the colors aren't good enough sometimes and the light isn't either, you can try to black and white to direct the viewer gaze exactly where you want, eliminating practically every distraction. Even though I always recommend trying to focus on your frame in black and white while shooting. Maybe if you are the type of photographer who likes to shoot in aperture priority, you may consider a switch to manual in some situation, especially for black and white, in order to adjust your parameters and fine-tunings here and there to get a proper black and white images while shooting. This is because Lightroom is a super cool and fun tool for us photographers, but Lightroom alone itself, like Capture One or any other editing software you use, can do miracles. Thank you so much for making this far. Let me know your thoughts in the comment about this thorny topic for us photographers, these bad light and cloudy days, hoping they pass soon. Hope you find this video helpful. If so, consider subscribing to the channel. It means the world to me. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next one.